Do you want to move ahead in every aspect of your life? Do you trust yourself to follow through? Do you have a plan to move ahead? Today, we're going to talk about integrity, intentionality, and faith in the process. Results are on the other side of consistency. Welcome to the Built to Lead podcast. We're doing a new style of episode that we're calling Move the Needle. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is very much about moving the needle, and that is marginal gains and the discipline of progress. I think it's incredibly important for me, and hopefully for you, that you want to be constantly moving ahead in your life. There is no plateau. Either you're moving ahead or you're moving back. I have yet to meet or see anyone who found a spot or a perfect line in their life and they just parked there and they rode it out for the rest of their days at that level, and it was perfect. Anyone who takes their foot off the gas and eases out of it and thinks that they can just maintain, they always end up spiraling down. It always erodes. The nature of life is that everything is always eroding. The challenges come. Something changes in your life. Your job, you get fired from your job. Your workouts don't go as well as you want. You get sick. You injure yourself. You get in a fight in your wife and it throws you off. You have a relationship that's strained. Something is going to come that's going to knock you off your rocker, and that plateau is not going to hold. And so we need to get a mindset that we are constantly moving ahead and constantly growing. And in order to do that, we need to embrace being intentional. Being intentional means that we come up with a plan. We set goals for ourselves. We have an idea of where we want to go. We understand the direction that we're heading in, and then we get intentional about moving toward it each and every day. Without intentionality, we're just letting life happen to us, and we become a victim of the world rather than being and taking ownership of our own life and the progress that we make. A big thing about making progress instead of going backward. When you go backwards in your life, in your finances, in your health, and everything, and this is an investing principle that I think is really important, is if you lose 50% on anything, so if you put an investment out for $1,000 and you lose 50%, you got $500 left, it takes 100% to get back to where you were before. You have to gain double what you lost. Everything is twice as hard to get back once you've lost it. So this is why we don't want to ever let ourselves slide backwards. We want to constantly be moving forward. You can move forward marginally, and that's why I say marginal gains. Little by little, as long as you're moving ahead a little bit, you're always getting ahead. You're always better than you were yesterday. It's you versus you, right? You're measuring. In order to do that, we do have to self-assess. We have to look at ourselves. We have to measure. We need to be expectant that we're going to move ahead and not just take our mind off the ball, right? A big problem that people have, and the reason that they end up losing big time, is that they take too big of swings or too big of bites, or they, I heard on a recent podcast from Dave Ramsey is that we need to play incremental long ball and quit looking for the home run, right? It's not to say you're never going to hit a home run. You're never going to hit that perfect investment. You're never going to nail that big job. You're going to hit a home run in all your years of playing, but day by day, for the most part, you're going to hit little long balls and make one base at a time. And that is how wealth is built. That is how life is built. That is how wisdom is built. That is how knowledge is collected, right? And so we need to play incremental long ball and not be running for the home run, because winning the lottery shouldn't be your financial plan. Another really important thing is having integrity with yourself. Integrity means, and I have the definition here so I can read it to you, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles is one definition. Another definition is the condition of being unified, unimpaired, or sound in construction, as well as internal consistency or lack of corruption. The thing about integrity is it's a consistency throughout. It's a moral fire. It's what you stand for deep down inside. And what can happen with us is that we can actually lose integrity with ourselves. And that is when we make promises to ourselves. We set goals or we have ideas, and then we don't follow through with ourselves in the long run. And we actually lose trust and faith in ourselves to be a person who follows through on what we believe in. And when we lose integrity with ourselves, that's when we really start to struggle with making progress. So we need to look ourselves in the mirror and we need to say, this is where we're going. This is what I want to do. And then we need to have integrity in that we can trust ourselves to actually take action and do the things that we say we're going to do. right? Going into that, in order to do the things that you say you're going to want to do, you actually have to believe them. And this is kind of a mindset thing that I think is really important when you start making gains or moving ahead in your life, is that when in faith, Paul in the Bible, he says, faith without works, I think is what he says, is dead. And it's the same for you internally. If you don't actually believe in the depths of yourself that something is true or that this is going to work. For example, I'm going to follow this diet and then I'm going to lose 10 pounds. If you don't believe that before you start, you're not going to follow through for it. You're not going to be drawn to action. So in order for you to actually make progress on these things, on these intentions, on these plans that you have to actually believe that they're going to work out. And that is a mindset thing that you're going to have to overcome in yourself, is that whatever you're doing, one, you have to believe that you're going to have the follow through and that you can trust yourself to follow through it. And two, you have to believe that the outcomes, the execution, the fruit at the end is actually real. It's actually there. It's actually going to be accomplished. And on that note, a big thing that for me, when this actually really clicked in, is when I did 75 Hard for the first time. 75 Hard is a program about mental discipline. It has many, many valuable things within it, but basically it's a 75-day program that's completely no excuses. You must follow it to the T exactly for 75 days. A couple of the reasons I think it works really well is one, the habit loop process. So doing a habit or creating a new habit for yourself is known to be about a 21-day cycle. 75 days is 3 and a little bit habit loop. So by the time you've completed 75 days of consistently working out, drinking water, following a diet, not drinking alcohol, taking progress pictures, or i.e. measuring incrementally your progress, and you do that for 21 days, 3 times in a row, you've solidified those habits so deep in yourself that after the 75 days is over and you're no longer following the program, you just do it automatically. You can't even fathom a day where you didn't work out. You can't even understand why you wouldn't get up early anymore. It just happens almost on its own. And the thing about habits is once you formed a habit, your brain goes into autopilot when you do those things and they become so much easier. So forming habits is huge for making these progress. The other part is the faith and the integrity that I was talking about. If you can trust yourself, so for 75 days straight, and you make that promise to yourself and you execute on that promise 75 times, you've proved to yourself 75 times, I believe it and I can do it and I will execute on it. Okay. The other part that I think is huge is the faith aspects and the mindset of believing it, truly understanding and believing that on the other side of this, there are results. Because a lot of times the incremental marginal gains that you want to make in your life are so small and so immeasurable that takes so much time to get there that we actually lose faith in that they're true, that they're real, that they're acceptable, that they're worth it. Well, in 75 Hard, you do so many good things that move the needle so much all at once that you can literally watch. It's like watching your fuel tank in your car needle go down as you're running out of fuel. You never see it move. 75 Hard is the opposite. You can see it moving. You can see the progress each day. You're taking the picture, you're watching the thing, you're drinking the water, you feel amazing. You learn how to manage your time. And so at the end of 75 Hard, and I've posted about it before, you've made such a massive leap in progress in less than 3 months that it's there before your eyes. It has proven to yourself that the results are on the other side of consistency and intentionality and discipline. And that's why I think it works. And so for me, when I did that, it really gave me the faith and the mindset to understand that if I show up for myself every day and I follow the plan that I made and I believe in myself and I have integrity with myself to actually execute on the goals that I've set, that I will get the results that I thought that I wanted. I will get there. It does come back and it does get the solution or the goal or the thing. And it can be done in a very short period of time when you stay consistent. So I think that's a big part of it. So again, to go back to what really matters here, you need to have a mindset of discipline and you need to be moving ahead always. You cannot be going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards because every time you go back, it's twice as hard to go forward again. You need to have integrity with yourself. You need to look yourself in the mirror. And when you do say you're going to do something, you need to do it and you need to be able to trust yourself. You need to have faith in the process. You need to prove to yourself that this model and this process and this plan is going to get you to the place in the solution that you need to get to. And once you prove it to yourself and you prove it to yourself over and over and over again, these marginal gains become easier and easier and easier to do because you believe it, right? And at a certain point, you're going to look back 3 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years and go, wow, look at the space I've covered 1 inch at a time. It won't happen in a week. It doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen in a month. It happens in month after month, year after year, decade after decade of making those exact marginal gains and moves ahead. And in the midst of all that, you are going to hit a home run here and there. You're going to make that big leap forward, and that's great, but you can't live on those big leaps, sliding backwards and doubling every time you have to go forward. You can't do it that way. That's not the way to progress. So, integrity with yourself, faith in the process, discipline to get it done. Keep moving ahead. Don't move backwards. That's what moving the needle is all about. Thanks for listening today, guys. Built to Lead. Let us know if you like the 20-minute or less episodes. And we'll come back to you again next month with a full hour episode with Tyler and myself. Have a good day.